Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you've gotten pretty good at being a data analyst. You can slice, dice, and make sense of just about any dataset thrown your way. But you're probably starting to wonder what's next? What's over the horizon? Well, your next big career move is definitely waiting, and we're about to explore it. And that's the big question, right? It's the one every successful analyst eventually asks. You've got the skills, you've proved you can add value. But where do you go from here? The path forward isn't always just a straight line up. And honestly, that's the most exciting part. Moving on from the data analyst role isn't about climbing some single boring ladder. Oh no, it's about exploring a whole universe of specialized, high-impact careers. Think of your analyst skills as the launch pad. They can take you almost anywhere. Now, to help you navigate this massive universe, we've grouped 10 of the best career paths into 4 different categories, or archetypes. We're going to look at the business strategists who help guide the company, the data architects who actually build the systems, the frontier innovators who are basically predicting the future, and the guardians and storytellers who make sure data is easy to understand and trustworthy. And then, at the end, we'll help you figure out which path is the perfect fit for you. Okay, first up, the business strategists. These are the folks who take all that raw data and turn it into an actual roadmap for the company. They are the crucial link between a cool insight and a real-world action, telling the business where to go and what to do next. Inside this group, we've got 3 main roles. You've got the business analyst, who's like a translator between departments. Then there's the product analyst, who really gets inside the mind of the user. And finally, the financial analyst, who absolutely masters the language of money and forecasting. The business analyst is such a classic and powerful next step. Basically, your job is to listen to what the business leaders want to do, figure out what data they need, and then bring the findings back to them as a clear strategy. Now, what's really cool about this role is that it's often a direct springboard into management. Now, if you're really into how people use technology, why they click, what they click, then the product analyst role is huge, especially in tech. You'll become an expert on user behavior, running A/B tests to make the product better. But if finance is more your speed, the financial analyst path is a rock-solid choice in banking and investment. You'll be the one building the models that forecast where the money is going. All right, let's move on to our next group, the data architects. And this is where it gets really foundational. See, if the strategists are the ones driving the car, the architects are the people who build the highways. Without them, nobody's going anywhere. They create the massive, scalable infrastructure that all data work relies on. This group is all about building and maintaining. You've got the data engineer who designs the main data pipelines, and then the cloud data analyst who specializes in making everything work perfectly on platforms like AWS and Azure. The data engineer is, without a doubt, one of the most critical jobs in the entire modern data world. Seriously, you're not just looking at data, you are designing the systems that collect, store, and process it at a massive scale. You'll get your hands on powerful tools for big data, like Spark and Hadoop, plus all the major cloud platforms. And let me be clear, the opportunity here is just massive. Companies are absolutely desperate for people who can build and maintain these complex data systems. And what does that mean for you? Incredible job security and really, really competitive salaries. The bottom line is, if you love to build things, this is where you want to be. A really modern twist on the analyst role is the cloud data analyst. Think about it. More and more companies are ditching their own servers and moving everything to the cloud. And they need experts who know how to manage and analyze data in that specific environment. This field is absolutely exploding right now and has a huge future. Okay, now for our third group, the one that gets all the headlines, the frontier innovators. These are the jobs you're always hearing about. The ones working on the absolute cutting edge of machine learning and AI, building models that can literally predict the future. So here we've got the data scientist, who actually creates those predictive models. Then the machine learning engineer, who takes those models and makes them work in the real world. And finally, the AI specialist, who is pushing the absolute boundaries of what's possible with stuff like deep learning. The data scientist is probably the most famous job on our list today. Using Python, machine learning, and a solid understanding of statistics, you're the one building models that can do amazing things, like forecast sales, sniff out fraud, or predict when a customer is about to leave. It's a super challenging role, but it comes with a high salary and consistently strong demand. Now, this is super important.
People get these two mixed up all the time, so let's clarify the difference between a data scientist and a machine learning engineer. Think of it this way. The data scientist is like the researcher who invents a new engine. The ML engineer is the person who actually takes that engine, fits it into a car, and makes sure it runs smoothly for millions of miles. One discovers, the other delivers.
And for those of you who want to be on the absolute bleeding edge of technology, there's the AI and deep learning specialist. You'd be working on these incredibly complex models for things like image recognition, the tech in self-driving cars, or natural language processing, which powers those advanced chatbots. This career is about as future-proof as it gets. All right, last but definitely not least, let's talk about our final group, the guardians and storytellers. These jobs are all about communication and trust. Because, let's be honest, data is completely useless if nobody can understand it, or even worse, if no one believes it's accurate. So in this category, you have the data visualization specialist, who literally tells stories with data, and the data governance analyst, who makes sure that the data is accurate, consistent, and used in a responsible way. The data visualization specialist is the ultimate data storyteller. You take these complex, messy spreadsheets and, using tools like Tableau or Power BI, you transform them into clear, compelling dashboards and reports that people can actually understand. This role has a huge impact on the business because you're the one making the insights available to everybody, from an intern all the way up to the CEO.
And then we have the guardian, the data governance analyst. This job is all about one thing: trust. You're the person making sure the data is accurate, consistent, and follows all the rules, like GDPR. As data gets more and more important and more regulated, this role is becoming absolutely essential, especially for big companies.
Phew. So we've explored the strategists, the architects, the innovators, and the storytellers. That's 10 different roles, 10 incredible potential futures. So how in the world do you choose the one that's right for you? Well, it really just comes down to what you truly love to do. So just look at what really gets you excited. If you love using data to make big business decisions, you should definitely check out the strategist roles. If you get a thrill from building solid, reliable systems, the architect path is calling your name. If you're fascinated by predicting what's coming next with AI, you're an innovator at heart. And if you believe that making things clear and trustworthy is the most important thing, you are a natural guardian or storyteller. Look, your career as a data analyst, that was just the beginning. That was the launch pad. You now have the skills to step into any of these futures, to be a strategist, a builder, an innovator, or a powerful storyteller. The only question left is, which future will you build?